Good morning.
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 Morning everyone, welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Crystal Palace. We'll start off with Fraser from Premier League Productions.
Morning David, you okay?
Hi Fraser.
I'm assuming things have been pretty smiley amongst everybody here at the training ground since Wednesday night. How would you describe the atmosphere here at the moment?
Yeah, we're smiley. We weren't smiling with a minute to go in the game, but we were smiling in the last minute, and since then we have been. But we took a point from the game. We didn't take 3 points from the game, so we're also realistic that we got something when it looked as if it was going to be difficult to get anything at all. So I think that made it a little bit more special, and yeah, it's given us a good feeling. It really has, yeah.
In terms of the games that you've been involved in terms of atmosphere and big events and stages and drama and comebacks right at the end there, where does this sit as far as some of the big games that you've been involved in, do you think?
I get asked these sort of questions quite a lot, and I've been fortunate recently to have played in the European final and semi-finals, etc., and FA Cup finals here. But I think at the moment it's a different situation for me here. Every game you play as a manager is nearly your biggest game. It always is, because you could be fighting for your job, or you could be fighting to stay up, you could be fighting for a league title. In recent years, maybe fighting for European places. So it's difficult to put things into what game's bigger than the other. But I think at the moment it feels really big game because I've come back. And when you're a new manager coming in, you hope that you can make a good start and get the crowd on your side and get everybody behind you. And we've done that at the moment. It's been a good start we've had.
Sadly, one of the negatives was Ndiaye's injury. Can you give us any idea in terms of how he's looking? Yeah,
Illy's got a medial ligament injury. It's not looking great at the moment. We're probably not sure about how long it's going to be. We'll maybe get a bit more on that, but it's certainly going to be a few weeks anyway.
Will it take anything special for you now in terms of trying to bring everybody back down to earth to face what is going to be probably a very difficult trip to Crystal Palace?
By the way, over recent years, everybody's brought Everton back down to earth. So why don't we just try and keep Everton high for a wee while? Isn't it good that there's positive talk about Everton for a change? You know, we're suddenly getting great support, people behind us. But I take your point greatly. I have to make sure that we are ready. And no, we're not that good that we're going to keep everything's going to be rosy. But I'm going to try and keep things upbeat as much as we can and see if we can change the whole feeling around Everton as much as we can. And we get new owners, and we want to start looking forward and seeing if we can build the club up again.
I meant in terms of just getting everybody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You just gave me a great way to go into it. That was it. So, but hey, no, we do. I take your point. I think the biggest thing for us is a quick turnaround. We've not played as many games as most teams because we're not in Europe yet. But the plan is to hopefully find that we'll get more games in the future. But our squad is very, very tight at the moment with what we've got. So it'd be difficult to do more. And this 3 games in a week for us is quite a tough week.
Just finally from me, after a month in charge now, how do you assess how the players are adapting to your style, to your needs, to what you want from them?
Well, I think the players have done brilliantly well. I couldn't praise them enough for what they've done. They've got so many good qualities. We're trying to make things better. We're trying to become better in every other aspect if we can, and we're trusting them. We're giving them the opportunity to show what they can do. I think a lot of them have done it. You know, players have come into the team. Beto's come in and scored some goals. You know, it's. Jimmy Gardner's come back from injury, which is out and has done well in the games recently, and so we need to try and keep building. We need to get some players back from injury, hopefully in the coming weeks, and add to what we've got.
Thanks, Fraser. We'll go to Julia.
Hi there.
Hi there. With that renewed sense of optimism and sort of that never say die attitude, do you think it sort of sent a message? And when you're looking for fine margins in football, sometimes in football games, this renewed optimism around Everton, will that help going into this game against Crystal Palace?
I don't know if it'll necessarily help against this game, but I think the feeling that we want around here is that we're we're on the up. We're trying to football. You never win every game, and you try and win every game, but everybody tries to do the same to you. Crystal Palace is a tough game for us. It's never been easy for any team going to Crystal Palace, so we'll need to go there and play well, be hard to play against, and make enough opportunities. But I think the bigger thing about it is just to say, you know, we picked up a good point in midweek when we came from behind and scored late on. It's always nice when you score a late winner.
You mentioned Beto there. He'd been speaking after the game about the work that's going on with him inside Finch Farm. How much is he benefiting now from this run of games? And he's had 3 goals since you've come in. And is that what a striker just needs, just to run and get some goals?
Yeah. Well, the people who played striker will tell you they need a little bit of time to get settled in. They live off their goals as well because they judge themselves on that. I'd have to say if Beto was judging himself on goals at the moment, you say he's doing great. You know, he's come into the team and got goals. I thought he was a difficult opponent for the opposition in midweek, and I have to say he started very well for us. So I hope he keeps it up.
And Jack Harrison had to come on, maybe not planned so soon because of Illiman's injury. Just a word for him, how he took that opportunity.
I thought he came on and played really well in the Bournemouth game when he came on. And he's been needing a bit of confidence. You know, we've had Jesper, who was a little bit the same when I came in, they were telling me, but I think both players are beginning to show a lot more. You know, I thought Jack Harrison done really well when he came on the other night as well, and you know, and showed some good signs. So hopefully he might be beginning to get a wee bit of confidence back, like a lot of the players have been doing. And he done well, Jack.
Just generally on injuries, is everyone else okay? And also when you are looking for numbers, have you had any time, I appreciate you've been really busy since you arrived, but have you had any time to look at the academy and see if they might help now when you need numbers?
Well, I'm really fortunate. I've got Leighton Baines, who's been working with 18s and the 21s and knows most of the younger players. So Baines has been the one who's been able to keep me up to date. Of course, we're having to bring young players up because we're struggling to fill our bench at the moment as well. So we're seeing bits of them. We're seeing bits of them in training. We're not doing great amount of training at the moment because of the games. But you know, if I think that it's needed, then they'll play. That's why they're here. And this club's probably had a problem because of the financial situation where they've had to sell an awful lot of our really good young players. So we hope that the ones we've got, when they get given the opportunity, they can step up.
It's just some claims about recalls for Harrison Armstrong. That's not in the plan then?
Well, I've not discussed it at the moment anyway, that's for sure, no.
And just finally from me, Abdoulaye Doucoure obviously has been in the headlines. Yeah. There has been the statement put out by both clubs after Wednesday about comments that were sent to him, racist comments. Just how is he in Finch Farm at the moment?
He's fine. You know, I said after the game, and I still remain the same. I says, you know, I was disappointed that he got himself sent off, and you know, the club will look at the situation as we go along, his situation here. But look, it was an emotional night. You know, it was a game where everybody was involved in it. You know, we're playing against a really good Liverpool team at the moment. As I've mentioned, probably the best in Europe, probably the best certainly the best in our country at the moment. And we had to do as good a job as we could in Liverpool to get a result, and we just about got there on the night. So it was an emotional night for everybody, and I actually feel a bit for Arnie Slot, because this is the sort of thing which, when I was a younger manager, I was always getting involved in heated things. So and it also tells me a little bit that he cares a lot about his club and he's fighting for his players. So, you know, everybody has to do what they do, and he was doing that for his team.
Do you naturally mellow out then as a manager the more games you've had?
I think when you get a bit older, you stand back and you say, what was I doing there? And I've had plenty of moments, let me tell you, and lots that I'm not proud of. But we all have to fight our own corner. And, you know, I was disappointed, which I'm just repeating myself, I was disappointed in Dukes because he'd played so well in the game. He'd done a great job for the team. But it still doesn't mean that people are allowed to abuse you, you know. And if that's the case, then it's completely wrong. And, you know, I think Dukes, if he had it again, he would have probably not done what he's done.
Thanks, Julia. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay, thanks.